last day with photo lah. You never come. You don't see the photo in the WhatsApp. Why go so fast one? Normally 1 month, huh?
Yeah, that's why they say also offshore.
Yeah. So good. Payment sometimes 2 months. 3 months also got. Some 6 months. 6 months.
If they pay delay, they can ask for delay.
Huh?
If they pay delay, they can ask for more. If pay delay.
You pay delay, you tell them interest on.
Yeah.
Some of them do, some of them don't do lah. Up to you lah. You have the individual.
Yes, the CD forever is not reading the
It's not expensive, you know, they drop off.
Very warm welcome to the Senkang Sports Complex, where hockey is very much order of the day. 2 pitches that will see the hockey's series open in the men's and the women's divisions here in Singapore, and it should be thoroughly entertaining if the first 2 games that we've witnessed today are anything to go by. Earlier on pitch number 2, Thailand beat Hong Kong China by 4 goals to 0. However, Malaysia just defeated Indonesia 18-0 in what was a very one-sided game. A very inexperienced Indonesian side, but they only conceded 6 goals in that second half. So their turn in fortunes was very much prominent as well. Coming up next for you live in a few minutes' time, as the players are just finishing their last bits of the hit-up, we will have Kazakhstan taking on Singapore, the host nation here in this 6-team tournament in both the men's and the women's division. Hong Kong, Indonesia, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, Singapore and Thailand are in the women's series, and as for the men, it is Thailand, Singapore, Myanmar, Indonesia, Hong Kong and Chinese Taipei. We will be bringing you a men's game a little bit later on, as the host nation Singapore will take on Indonesia. That will come at about 7 p.m. local time. But we're gearing ourselves up now for this Kazakhstan game against Singapore, and it should be very entertaining. Having watched and seen some of the Singapore League throughout this year and season and covering it, the development of hockey in Singapore is on the up. These girls are putting themselves together and getting themselves ready, but this is the Kazakhstan side that has been put out by the coach Nozan Bibitov, and the Singapore side there that we just got a brief glimpse of was David Werner's starting 11 to take to the field of play. Don't forget, 11 players on the field at one side, squads of 18 allowed in this competition, and rolling substitutes do take place and occur, as the announcer, the ground announcer, just letting everybody know what's happening, who's going to be playing and which players will be taking to the field of play. Some very interesting names from the Kazakhstan side, so it should be interesting to see how they fare and how they go. As for Singapore, if you know the Singapore players in the region, you'll know that they should be pretty strong and pretty solid, and they will give a very good account of themselves. Definitely looking forward to this one with great anticipation.
Number 3, Kairusheva Dimitrievich. Number 7, Yatina Victoria. Number 9, Sumova Karina.
Singapore electing not to start with the most experienced player, Chua Tini, 92 caps for the 29-year-old. She will start on the bench. Should be intriguing, a little bit of experience to bring on a little bit later on. Kazakh side, well, they look as though they will have a few debutants yet to have made a full international appearance. 16-year-old Victoria Lapina. She's definitely one to look out for. Shirt number 7. She doesn't get the start, but I'm sure she'll come on a little bit later on. But number 11 making her debut, the 19-year-old Elvira Butikinova, will be taking and starting in the field of play. Singapore, the only uncapped player is Patricia Malagaya, the 22-year-old. Everybody else has a senior appearance. She will start on the bench as well for Singapore. And pushing towards 50 caps is Tam Wan Ting, the number 10 from Singapore. This will be her 49th appearance for the national team as she approaches landmark 50. We're almost all set to go. The youngest player, 16-year-old Sadonang from Singapore. The number 20, she will start on the bench as the flag bearers make their way onto the field of play. And 2 young 16-year-olds who could be making their debuts, as we've mentioned, for Kazakhstan. Dilnaz Karosheva and Victoria Lapina. I remember seeing this Kazakh side play before. They're very aggressive, very strong. So this won't be a stroll in the park, that's for sure, for Singapore. Question is if they can manage and compete with these women, then I'm sure we will see a very, very intriguing game indeed. So it's now the team's turn to make their way to the field of play. First time that this competition has been inducted into hockey in the men's and women's version, but because it's an international fixture, all the officials, all the players and the flags are out, it means that we'll have a minute's silence for the national anthems. anthems have been played, the handshakes will take place, and the game will get underway very, very shortly. No seeking Sarajidin and also Denisha Pereira will be the officials for this one. The question is which way will it go? So both sides ready to take to the field of play. There is the Kazakhs, very strong, as we mentioned.
Is mine too dark? Wait, why am I saying so?
So it will be Singapore in the red strip, almost set to get us underway.
Yeah, hearing myself.
For 15-minute quarters will start now. Just getting on the ball very early, along with Sophia Savan. Down the far side. Well, hold on there from Vida Tomashneva. The last time these two sides met were in last year's edition of what was the Hockey World League. It was the first round stage. Finished 3-0 in favour of Kazakhstan. Straight away a penalty corner. Work from Kazakhstan down that far side. So 40 seconds to put the equipment on. Catalina scored 2 goals last time out when she was here in Singapore. Another 15, so will she get on the score sheet again? Let's have a look how solid the push is. It's there to the edge of the D. Oh, it's a nice variation, but there is the strike from Gutolina, but it's just stabbed home, and the penalty corner coming to fruition. Tomashneva is the one that gets her name on the score sheet. So it's a great start for Kazakhstan. There's the push, there's the variation, the strike coming in. Katalina Tomashneva in the right place at the right time. Just had the perfect start, really, you would say. In a recent Women's Asian Games qualifier, it was Singapore that defeated Kazakhstan by 3-1. Very, very topsy-turvy between these two sides. It was a 3-0 victory the time before that. Then, as I mentioned, there was that victory here in Singapore where it all turned around. So plenty to play for. Needs to be said. That's well one back. Nice little work from Li Min. Rivka doing well, looking to try and create a yard. Already you can see there's a little bit of a step up in quality from the Indonesian side that really struggled earlier on. Both teams looking to have a go. Emily Chan doing well, winning the hit. Seems to have gone against Singapore. So scoop forwards. Here's the goal scorer, Tomashneva. Well picked up and well worked. Again, booted away to safety. It needed to be and had to be as well from Felissa Lai. Singapore just having to back off on that occasion. To push forwards though. Ivy Chan doing well on that occasion. Bit of time and space though. Chip in Stova helps it forwards. It's a little bit of a tumble. Catalina into ground. Like a foot was used. Play allowed to continue. Drilled back in though by Catalina to no avail. Kazakhstan that are on the front foot at the moment, passing it around. Ruslanova drilled forwards, dangerously high though. Chepkasova just got underneath the ball on that occasion. Singapore get on with this quickly. And the ball forwards. outside. Work again. Chekosova doing well. Didn't stop the ball though. So Singapore with a chance to try and come forwards, create one or two problems themselves. Well won. Ball just flicked forwards. Nice little turn. Possession kept. Catalina doing well. Penalty corner. Good work. Second penalty corner of this quarter goes in favour of Kazakhstan. Defended on that occasion though. Singapore closing ranks very, very quickly to deny the opportunity. Still have it though. Diving, lunging challenge coming in on that occasion, which results in yet another penalty corner. Can they make this one count like they did the first? That's the big question. Nice to the edge of the D. Good stop, good save. Nicely picked up though by Catalina. Catalina pulls it across, and that was an open goal, and it was a real chance. Well, Singapore can breathe a huge sigh of relief there. They almost got undone. Very good work there from Kazakhstan, but Singapore held tight and held fast, and they needed to. Just fired forwards, but again to no avail. Closing down again. That time it was Sabazova who put the stick in the way. They are working incredibly hard there. Luislanova doing exactly the same, making it very, very difficult for Singapore to get anything going. Back defensively. Sakatomba in the right place at the right time. intercepted. Singapore trying to pass it around. Okay, playing that one forwards, but well won and well cut out. Good time and space now. Chepekasova. Nova back on the ball. Just fires it inside. Keep that one in play. Oh, that's well played. Arena Gabriagolo doing very, very well there. Year-old, 57 caps, showed all her experience to allow that ball to run out of play. Here comes Singapore again. Maybe Chan. Going to move backwards. Now a chance at the other end. Sabazova inside, nicely played. Good save, but the follow-up and another brilliant save, but it's been scrambled over the line. Well, it was great work in goal, it has to be said, from Felice Lai. However, just couldn't stop that ball going over the line. Pisarova, I think it is, who's going to be credited with the goal. There's the first stop, there's the second, there's the third. But unfortunately, Singapore couldn't stop it going in the back of the net. So Pisarova doubles the advantage for Kazakhstan. This time it coming in open play. So Kazakhstan looking to be in control of this one at the moment. That's well intercepted. Better from Singapore, looking to get a foothold in this game. Picked off and pushed forwards though, so Kazakhs can come again. Little slip. Trying to make inroads, but this defense just a little bit too tight at the moment. As there is the horn for the end of the first quarter, and both sides battling hard, but it is Kazakhstan that's just had the advantage and have been dominating proceedings. Goals coming from Donisheva and also Bisovra means that at the end of the first period it's Kazakhstan 2, Singapore 0. Very warm welcome back to the Senkang complex, where the hockey is taking centre stage. It is, of course, the Hockey Series Open, and is taking place at this wonderful purpose-built facility in Singapore. Currently, it's Kazakhstan taking on Singapore in what's been a tight, eagerly contested game. It is Kazakhstan that do have the lead, though, by 2-0. But Singapore have shown that if they can match physically the Kazakhs, then they may have a chance. But it is Kazakhstan with goals from Domishneva and Biserova that are leading by 2-0 as we enter this, the second quarter. The big question is can they get themselves on the board, Singapore? If they do that, the confidence will build, and I'm sure they will feel a lot happier and a lot better with themselves. Straight away they look to go on the attack, which is always a promising sign. Straight away, it's Kazakhstan that look to break forwards, and again, Kakolina is the one that's probing and foraging all the time, looking to get herself in there, looking to create an issue or a problem. As mentioned, she scored 2 goals last year when these two sides met here at the Senkang complex. Good defending and well played there. Violo clearing the lines, however, picked up by Waho. Violo just tried to play it forwards, but scoops it out of play. A bit disappointed with her actions on that occasion. Hit for Singapore. Can they make it count? That's the big question. Well, I really hope they can. Chopping, so Kazakhstan get on with things quickly. Well intercepted, nicely pushed forwards. A little bit of time and space now to move forwards for Jolly Nung. Tried to play into the corner, but just a little bit too far. Well done though, Singapore battling and fighting hard. Well, that's lovely skill. Just couldn't keep it in play though. Taken quickly, very, very quickly as well from Rivka. Looks to drive into the D. Ball pops up just outside, so it'll be a hit. Again, taken quickly. And fire that one across the face was Jolinung. Good defending again though. Well, that was a little bit dangerous, shall we say. Hang on, where am I? Strong, solid defense though. Sabazova ensure the body's in the way. Singapore battling a lot harder in this second period, it has to be said. Most of the play has been up at the other end. Just out of play though. Kazakhstan couldn't keep that one in. And they come again though, Singapore. Adajat doing ever so well, looking to drive into the D, does well again on the reverse stick. It was blocked. Almost perfect there from Singapore. Great play it was from Ajadith Joanna, just trying to create that yard for herself. Singapore looking to try and build from the back, however, slight mistake there with the stick. A little bit of time and space now. Isarova wins the hit.
Can you hear me?
Singapore rotating and making some changes. It's going to be the experienced Catalina that fires this one into the D, but not close to any players. That was harmlessly behind. Nice little bit of skill there in the corner. Just trying to create that yard to deliver into the box. Into the D, as it were. That one, though, harmlessly behind. Good defending from Kazakhstan, who stop it further up the field of play and look to try and get it into the D. Nicely played down the line. Just used to the foot though, so play turned over quickly. Still a reverse stick up the line, however, well read from Patricia Malagaya. Singapore just can't get that break in the D. Will it finally come? No, just pushed away to safety. Gavrigolo clearing the lines. Chopped away to safety. Singapore get ready to rotate yet again. Kazakhstan just cementing themselves in this match now as the sun comes out at the Sengkang Sports Complex. The question is can Singapore get themselves back into this game? Penalty corner. Doesn't look as though the Singapore team agrees with that, but it's been given nonetheless. So the first penalty corner of the second period. It's gone in favour of Kazakhstan. What's the delivery going to be like? Variation again, and again it's slammed home by exactly the same person. Donashneva again. Well, it wasn't straight and direct, but it was exactly the same as the first penalty corner and their first goal in that first quarter. The set-up, the push, the little nick to the side, the strike coming in yet again from Gatolina, and then in the right place at the right time once more was Donashneva to put the Kazakhs well and truly and firmly in control of this game. Can Singapore break back in before the end of the half? And it was a fantastic run. Sadhanan, well, ran all the way through. Good keeping in the end, though. Gavadin came out and closed and narrowed the angles. Ticking down. Time running out for Singapore in this half. To say they would dearly love to try and get one back just before the interval. It's a nice ball back inside. Sanib wanted the hit, not given. That ball launched forwards. And again, the troublesome Gatolina keeps it. That was nice play. Good defending as well. Patricia Alagaya in the right place to just clear her lines there. Kazakhstan looking to try and get one more before the break. Go harmlessly behind. So into the final minute and not too long left before the half-time break. Looks as though the Kazakhs are going to go in firmly in control. The last few seconds of this first half, the second period, coming to a close. There is the horn that signals the end then. So, again, productive from Kazakhstan. It was a penalty corner which Donashneva managed to slam home yet again, like she did in the first quarter, that has cemented Kazakhstan's lead throughout this game. And at the half-time interval, it's Kazakhstan that leads Singapore by 3-0. Very warm welcome back to the Senkang complex, where it is the Hockey Series Open Singapore leg, where we are currently witnessing Kazakhstan taking on Singapore in the women's division. And as you can see from the scoreboard there in front of you, it is very much in favour of Kazakhstan at the moment. So plenty for Singapore to do if they are to get themselves back in this encounter and this tie. Plenty of work needed. They have had half opportunities and half chances, it has to be said, but it is the Kazakhs that are firmly in control of this. So we're almost all set to go, and we will know exactly where everything's going. Thailand beat Hong Kong in the women's division 4-0 earlier on. Malaysia, well, really dominated against Indonesia. That ran out 18-0 winners. The Malaysian side looking very, very strong, a very experienced side. Whereas now, Kazakhstan and Singapore, it does look as though Kazakhstan have the upper hand, and they will do going into this third period. The big question is can they sustain it? It's something that they will want to do, you can be sure of that. But as we said, can they? That is the question.
Okay.
So there's the whistle that gets us underway at the start of this third period. Straight away, Kazakhstan look to go on the attack again. So Singapore will look to stroke it around. Jin Lek just helping it down the line. Laura Tan looking to cut back inside. Foot used. So the hit in favour of Singapore. Ball fired in, and it's not a bad ball either as they drive into the D. Play allowed to continue. Singapore asking for the penalty corner, not given. Kazakhstan clear their lines. Singapore look to start and get on the front foot. Fired into the D, the little deflection goes just wide. It's better from Singapore. Nicely played again from Kazakhstan. Oh, that's lovely play. Just slightly overhit that final pass though. Singapore to scurry back and try and defend. In the end, all they can do is clear their lines. Well, the Tam was back there defending. Better from Singapore. Once again looking to be on the front foot. Just trying to play it through, but again, good solid defending. Gabrielgo it was with that, however, the danger not cleared, and well, the first penalty corner goes in favour of Singapore of the match. A bit rash, I think it's fair to say, on that occasion from Bakavdin. Came a long, long way to kick and clear that ball, but cleared it into a dangerous area. So the hit and the penalty corner going in favour of Singapore. Can they muster something here? We saw Malaysia very wasteful earlier with their penalty corners. Only 2 goals scored from about 18 penalty corners. This is the first one for Singapore. Good stop. Oh, it wasn't. The players had just gone past them. Ball still bouncing and bobbling around, however. Big swing coming in there. Contact made, so hit in favour of Kazakhstan. Singapore very much on the front foot though in this third period. It's a great run down the line. Nice little pullback. Another penalty corner. So Singapore, whatever's been said at half-time by David Veneer, has been paying dividends because they definitely have a turnaround here. Conjure themselves a goal. That's a better stop, better play, but it's very, very good defending, it has to be said. No surprise, Tomeshneva was the lady that closed down the quickest. Back into the D. Thought about the reverse strike, but tried to keep possession instead. Again, Singapore looking to create a yard and again winning another penalty corner. Well, the third one in quick succession for Singapore. Just over 5 minutes gone in this third period. Question is can they make this pressure count? Great strike, good save. Yet again, though, another penalty corner. So Singapore looking to try and turn the screw here. Little variation. Can they scramble it in? No. Well, it was a chance, it has to be said. Kazakhstan just trying to slow things down slightly, though. Again, Singapore Just trying to work the angles, but it's just not working for them on that occasion. Defensively, Singapore a bit sounder so far in this quarter. Question is can they remain that way? That ball played in and it's just flicked away to safety for the long. Singapore pushing and trying to get themselves on the score sheet. Goes. The official's not happy with something. Singapore looking to try and get in with things a little bit quicker. Taking shorts. Fired forwards again into the D, well defended from Kazakhstan as they look to break out. Defending and fired straight back in though from Ivy Chan. No little deflection on that occasion though, unfortunately for Singapore. Hits goes in favour of Kazakhstan, who again looking pretty solid once more. Lovely little turn. Very well played on that occasion. And Esra trying to create a yard. Singapore dealt with it well, tried to come out the game with the ball. And they do. Better play. Tini starts to move off down the right-hand side. Can they get into the D? It's played into the D, but there's nobody there. Dangerous. Fired just a little bit too high. Because of that, it would be turned over and go in favor of Kazakhstan. Like a little bit of a wild swing as well, if we're being honest. It's a much better quarter though from Singapore. Nicely played forwards. They're starting to find the openings now into the D. Well, she was on the turn on that occasion. Ajurith. Did very, very well. This resulted in yet another penalty corner. That will be the 5th one of this third quarter. Pretty sure David Veneer will be very happy with the way that the Singapore side has reacted after half-time. Can they make one count? Give themselves the belief and hope that in the final quarter they can get themselves right back in the game. A goal here could do it. That's better stop. Nicely pushed forwards. Again blocked. Scooped in. Another good save. Singapore applying all the pressure and just hacked away. Anywhere will do from Kazakhstan. Much better from Singapore, I think you would say. Be on their toes here though, Singapore, because Kazakhstan come again. The whistle's gone, so play continues quickly. Catalina, who's been very, very quiet this third period. Well, a little bit of a mix-up there. Xiao wanting the hit as the sticks came together. Contact made, taken very, very quickly. Donashneva does well. Just looks as though Kazakhstan looking to take the sting out of the game in this third period and just try and protect that 3-goal lead. Zafanova just couldn't retain possession as the clock ticks down. Not the best clearance. There is the horn to signal the end of the third period. And it was a real gutsy performance from Singapore in that third quarter. 5 penalty corners, but they couldn't make any count. So that's testament to the resolve and resolution that this Kazakh side do have defensively. So before we go into the final period of the match, it is Kazakhstan that still retain the lead. It's Kazakhstan 3, Singapore 0.
Okay, then. 4. This is 4.1.
Very warm welcome back to the Hockey Series Open here in Singapore, the new version of the competition. It was the World Series before. 6 female teams going head-to-head, 6 men's teams going head-to-head. We're currently watching Kazakhstan against Singapore, and it's Kazakhstan that lead by 3-0. However, that third quarter dominated by Singapore as they look to get themselves a foothold back in the game. So Kazakhstan will need to up the tempo slightly in this final period if they are to see it through. Better from Singapore, picking up the ball and running and trying to get themselves into that D. A lot of hard work required here, though. Not going to be as easy as you may think. Very solid, stout Kazakh side that we've seen defensively. This competition shaping up nicely and shaping up well, though, it has to be said. Malaysia completely dominating earlier against Indonesia. Thailand running out 4-0 victors against Hong Kong as well. As it is again, Singapore straight on the front foot, straight on the offensive. And straight away winning a penalty corner. All the penalty corners have come at that end of the field of play. The big question is can Singapore make one count? It's starting to get to that time where they need to do so. Good block again, just a little bit too high, did just catch the knee of Rivka. Silly little mistake there, though, could prove costly. Singapore again. Say the officials. It's Singapore to win the hit. Are going to have to get a goal soon if they are to have any aspirations of getting something from this game. Themselves into the D first. There is the ball struck in. Nice little deflection on the reverse. It's padded away. A good stop and a good save again. After it was with the stop. So Singapore, it may not be their day. Good keeping again on the reverse there, just a little chip forwards. Laura Tan just trying to outfox the keeper. Penalty corner. Oh, the second penalty corner of this period as Singapore apply even more pressure. Well, they do have to convert these opportunities and chances, Singapore. Another penalty corner has been awarded. Was it a hit? A little bit confused there. As it is, Singapore have to look to play their way out from the back once more. That one running harmlessly behind for Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan happy to just try and keep it at the other end. No real conviction going into the D on that occasion. Tempo and pace been taken out of the game from Kazakhstan as they've tired, I think it's fair to say. That's lovely stick work. Very good work there. And one thing. Wins the long as well. Time ticking by here for the Singapore team. Penalty corner. So this will be their third penalty corner of this period. Can they make this one count? It's a poor stop, but the foot used, so yet again another opportunity.
Yep.
Changing variation brings out another good save in Bakavadin. Still Singapore looking to get themselves a goal from somewhere. They're not going to do it like that as the turnover goes in favour of Kazakhstan. Well stopped and well blocked as well. Catalina just trying to drive forwards. It's dispossessed though. It's a lovely ball played as well. Jusarova wins a penalty corner at the other end. Is this an opportunity for Kazakhstan to totally seal the deal? Good stop. Struck goalband off the line. Good defending from Singapore. Very, very well played indeed. So Donovan in the right place at the right time. Into the final 5 minutes. Just unable to keep that one in play. Ball played into the box there. Singapore all hands on deck at the moment, trying to defend. Another hit for Kazakhstan. They'll just be happy to stroke this one around and see the game out from here. Just over 2.5 minutes to go. Singapore had their chances, but it came in the third period. Looks as though the game has just passed Singapore by, unfortunately for them. Well, the hosts can take heart that the second period they did give a good account of themselves. They just couldn't capitalise on the opportunities and chances that they did create, though. That seems to have been their problem. Along, going in favour of Singapore, was it? Certainly is. And a real chance as they drive into the D. Good defending again. All fired forwards. More in hope than anything. There were 4 red shirts there, but that's fantastic defending to retain possession. It should mean now that Kazakhstan can just play this one through, run the clock down, the final few seconds tick by. There is the horn to signal the end of the game. All the damage done in that first half, where it was Dashanova who scored 2 penalty corners, or scored from 2 penalty corners, slamming it home after the shot had gone in. And Bisarova getting herself a goal as well. So it started well for Kazakhstan, not so for the hosts. It's finished from the Sengkang Sports Complex. Kazakhstan 3, Singapore 0.